So a very warm welcome to Handcrafts with Nadine. Welcome back, I should say. For myself, I just actually recorded this whole entire video only to realize that I hadn't actually pressed record. So take two. Welcome to Handcrafts with Nadine. My name is Nadine and I'm coming to you from northern New South Wales in Australia, although I am originally from Montreal, Canada. Yeah, it's a rainy day today, and we had daylight savings, so it's a bit late. It's probably almost 5 o'clock, and I thought I would be able to record later on today because of daylight savings, but in the end it's quite overcast today, so hopefully you can see me. I apologize if you can't. Today I'm going to be talking to you about some knitting and a little bit of acquisitions. I don't really like that word, but I did buy some stuff today, so I'm going to show you what I bought. I'm going to talk to you about a knitted dress that I'm working on, a new cast on, which is the #1, I think it's the #1 pattern on Ravelry, so I think you all know what I'm referring to. Some yarn that I bought and some fabric. Okay, so starting with what I'm wearing today, this is an improvised tee that I've made, and I'm just paranoid that I'm not recording again. I'm just gonna peek around the corner and check. Okay, all good. All right, so this is just an improvised tee. Not sure if I've worn this on before, but it's raglan style. So I started up here, and I just did a regular, I think I did KFBs for the increases of the raglan, and then I did the v-neck as I was coming along, and to prevent this from curling, I did at the edges, I do a couple of stitches of garter. So I don't know if you can see from up close, there's just maybe 2 or 3 garter stitches at the beginning and end of each row. So I did that till I got to here, and then it was in the round, pulling off for the sleeves. I did a little ruffle on the sleeves. So I accomplished that by, once I picked up the sleeves, I knit a few rows, rounds, sorry, and then I increased very quickly to make the ruffle, and looks like I did, again, I keep losing this word, garter. I did a few rows of garter at the end of that to prevent it from curling. And originally I had made it like a peplum, so I had knit to about here, and then I did a rapid increase again and had it come out, but it just wasn't, I wasn't loving it. I think it wasn't very flattering on me, and I thought it was a bit too much with the ruffles on the sleeves plus the peplum. So I ripped that back, and then I just did twisted rib for maybe 10 rounds or something like that. And this, I bought this yarn on Facebook Marketplace from a lady who was selling a bunch of silk. So there's no brand on it. It was just, I think it's mulberry silk, because this one is a shiny silk. I don't know if it was last week or I was talking about, yeah, last week I was showing you another top that I had that was knit in silk, but it was kind of matte, whereas this one is very shiny. And it came undyed, and I dyed it with food coloring. So that's what I'm wearing. Okay, I'm gonna try to go a little bit quicker than normal. I apologize, I know I already am a fast talker, but I just don't want to lose this light anymore. And ooh, speaking of loss, I've just lost 2 stitches there. Forgive me as I pop them back on. There we go. Okay, so my first work in progress is the Hilja Dress by Ronja Hakalehto. Apologies on pronunciations. And so this is where I'm at. I feel like last week maybe I was here. So I've done, you know, a good chunk. However, it's slow go from now on because I'm just knitting in the round, stockinette, and it's just going to be that for ages. So yeah, I'm not sure how long this is going to take me to finish, but yeah, I'm loving it. It's very, very lightweight and soft, and I love the look of it, and I'm very excited. Last week I just mentioned that I decided to do the finishings first before going on to the skirt, so I did all the ribbing and even put the buttons on. I did that just to make sure that it fit me before I went on and did all that knitting of the skirt. And that's being knit in Holst Coast held double, which is 55% wool and 45% cotton. And I'm loving it. I bought the entire cone, obviously. Okay, I think it was last week or maybe the week before, I talked about heading on up to Brisbane and stopping at the shop called The Yarn Bowl, which is a beautiful yarn store up in Brisbane. And they had on sale this BC Garn BioBalance, which is, you know, same fabrication, is that a word? 55% pure organic wool and 45% pure organic cotton. So however, it's organic, but same percentage of wool versus cotton. And it's almost double the thickness of the Holst Coast. So I'm holding this single, and like I said, you probably already guessed, the number one most popular pattern on Ravelry, the Ranunculus. So here it is. This is Ranunculus number 4 for me. So I knit the first one a couple of years ago in alpaca silk. I'm not sure. I think next week I'll show all my ranunculi. Maybe this will be finished and then I can have all 4 of them. But the first one I did in alpaca. And I think it's quite cropped because I had run out of yarn. The second one I did in linen, a black linen. The third one I did in silk. Oh, that's pretty cool. I just realized they're all going to be made in different fabric. Different, what's the word I'm looking for? Different fiber, different animal fiber, plant fiber. Anyways, the third one that I made, I omitted the lace, so I just knit it as a plain tee. That was in Tussa silk. I think it was also BC Garn. I think. I'll let you know next week. And this one finally, yes, I'm knitting. And so, yeah, I bought this pattern or got this pattern a couple of years ago. So I had the free pattern. So I started making it when, before she made different sizes, when it was still just the one size. And so this time I am holding my yarn single and I'm using one size smaller needle. I think it calls for 6mm and I'm using 5.5mm. And the reason I went down was I mean, if you know me, I don't like to swatch, but I did just do a couple of rows just to see what my fabric was going to look like. I wasn't too worried because, like I said, this pattern was the one size fits all, and I know that I could just keep increasing at the raglan until it fits me. So if it was going to be too small, then yeah, I could just do more rows and it would fit me that way. But yeah, so I didn't like the fabric that it made with the 6. I just felt it was a bit too open, would be a bit too see-through. So I dropped down to 5.5 and I'm very happy with it. It's still a little bit on the see-through side because yeah, that's quite a thick needle to be using with this yarn. Let me see what it calls for on the ball. There, it calls for a 3 to a 4 and I'm using a 5.5. So that's quite a big difference. But also I'm thinking this yarn might bloom a little bit and fill in the gaps. So yeah, it'll be a mystery because again, I did not swatch. Yeah, okay, so here it is. I decided to do the lace patterning in this one. And I was a bit hemming and hawing once I got to the first section of, which I believe are actually the Ranunculus flower, because I believe that's a flower. I was kind of contemplating doing baubles instead of an eyelet. And the reason was twofold. The first was I'd seen, I think it was Tracy from the Grocery Girls, fellow Canadian, had done bubbles on hers and I thought they looked very pretty. And maybe, yeah, threefold. I wasn't sure if I wanted all the holes to be, yeah, to add to like the see-throughness. And the third reason was the other two that I had knit with the holes, I think looked kind of messy. So I may have made a mistake on the first one that I made, and I think I tried to go back and fix it. I think the last row of eyelets was a bit off, or maybe the second row. Anyways, it just, and then I, you know, instead of ripping back, I tried to drop down and fix it, and it just didn't look very nice, so I just wasn't very happy. The second one I made, which, yeah, I'll show you next week, with the black linen, they just looked kind of messy, so I wasn't sure, but my husband, you know, I was asking his advice, and he said, oh, try to go for the eyelets, and I'm very happy that I did, because I think that they look very, very pretty, so I'm happy with how they turned out. And yeah, I'm just at the end of the, you know, the textured section, the lace section, and I'm about to go move on to the raglan. So this, if you live under a tree, you've never heard, or you've never knit this pattern, what's very cool about it is you start, you cast on, then you do, you know, your short row shaping, and then you're basically knitting it with like a circular increase, circular increases, and then at one point you switch and you go to raglan increases, and it just makes for a really beautiful fit, which is, I think, one of the reasons why so many people love this pattern. And definitely another reason is it's just really fun to knit. It's got some really cool kind of, I guess, kind of like not really a cable, but yeah, just a really cool and different techniques that are really fun, and it just makes it go so fast. Not to mention the big needles make it go fast, and yeah, I'm just very, very pleased with this project. I think the color is beautiful. I wasn't sure. I think it was on sale because it was a discontinued color, and I bought it. I was like, yeah, okay, I'll buy it. But I'm very pleased. I think the color is going to suit me very, very nicely. I think it's darker. It's darker. Is it possible that it's darker? It looks darker knit up. I feel like it looks darker knit up. Anyways, I think it's, you know, it's kind of similar to my eye color, so I think it's going to be very, very, very nice, and I think I'll wear a whole lot, and it's going to look beautiful, like I said last week, with like a beige skirt or white, or maybe even a dark denim. So yeah, I'm very, very excited to finish that. Hopefully I'll have it finished next week. We'll see how it goes. And yeah, okay, so if you watched my episode a couple of weeks ago, I talk a little bit about my husband and I went to the Forgotten Arts Festival. So this was a fair? Forgotten Arts Fair, I think it was called. It was a very, very small fair in a very small town called Nimbin. And it was really cool. I really wish it would have been a little bit bigger with maybe more stalls, but they had, you know, like knitting, weaving, dyeing, indigo dyeing, shoemaking, spinning, the metal, a metalsmith, I guess, where they have like the hot iron and they bang the metal. So it was really, really cool. There might have been ceramics, but it would have been, for me, I would have liked there to have been more hands-on, like more workshoppy maybe, or you get to try different things. And yeah, anyways, it was still really fun, and it was in a little town called Nimbin, which is in the hinterland here where I live. So it was about an hour and 15 minutes drive through the mountains. So it was very, very pretty. And we discovered that there is a yarn store in Nimbin. Unfortunately, when we were there last time, by the time we were gonna go, it was closed. I think it closed at 2 o'clock or something like that. It was a Saturday or a Sunday or something. But anyways, my husband, so we do coconut ice cream, coconut yogurt, and we've been crazy busy coming up this week. So he didn't get to go to do his deliveries up there. There's 2 shops up there that carry our ice cream, Nimbin Emporium and Nimbin Organics, I think. So he asked if I wanted to go with him to do the delivery today because, yeah, we could hang out. There's a really great pizza shop there, and I could go visit the yarn store. So I was like, yes, of course, I'd love to come. So I double checked that it was going to be open. It opened at 10, and it's called Nimbin Haberdashery. and it was a very small shop. I'm going to put a video at the end. A very small shop, but so much stuff. There was so much stuff in there, which is awesome. You know, there was not too much yarn, but there was yarn, there was tons of fabric, there was zippers, buttons, you know, all kinds of stuff like that. And then also your typical Nimbin, kind of, you know, Nimbin souvenir kind of stuff. So Nimbin, I forgot to mention, if you're Australian, you probably have heard of Nimbin. It's kind of like a little hippie, like I already live in a very hippie community, but this is an even smaller, even hippier community where there's like actual proper communes and that kind of thing. And, you know, marijuana, not legal at all in Australia, but very much, very readily available in Nimbin. And yeah, so they had, you know, a little bit of that kind of stuff, like, you know, t-shirts with mushrooms on it and that kind of stuff. But anyways, yeah, it was funny trying to navigate my way around the store. I had to like step over bins of things, and if I wanted to get, so they had a little shop at the top, and then a little bit down some stairs was more fabric, and then yarn on the wall. And I did see that it wasn't really yarn that I was too interested in, but if I was, I would have had to pull out racks and racks of stuff in order to get over to where that yarn was. But anyways, I think that yarn was all acrylic on that wall. So she had mostly acrylic yarn, I would say. So if that's your jam, if you're really, you know, if you like acrylic yarn, you know, it's a must. There's like tons. But she did have some wool, mostly super wash, but I did find, I'll show you, this brand called Heirloom, which I feel like it's Australian. Yeah, made in Australia, and it reeks of mothballs. So, you know, good on her for preventing moths from, you know, eating all the stuff in her store, but unfortunately this smells like mothballs. If anyone has any advice on how to get rid of the smell, my plan is to just leave it out in the sun. I feel if I'm really desperate, I might wind it into some skeins and, you know, wash it and leave it to dry outside, but I'm hoping that just leaving it out in the sun will do the trick. I don't know. Has anyone had any experience with that? Let me know in the comments. So this one is called Cozy Comfort. It's 8-ply, 50 grams, 120 meters. And it is 70% wool, 17% silk, and 13% alpaca. So it's really beautiful, it's really soft, and it's very fuzzy. So I bought 3. Actually, I think she only had 3. I bought these 3. It's a very, I don't know, oh, maybe I think the light is coming back a little bit. I thought it was just going to get worse and worse from now, but maybe the sun's peeking out a bit. Anyways, this is this beautiful dark plum color. It's going to be for me, and I thought I would make myself a hat and maybe a pair of mittens. I don't know. Hopefully I'll have enough for that for our trip to Canada this Christmas. So I bought that, and these were $10 a ball, which I thought was pretty reasonable. And then also from the same company, also 8-ply, so Heirloom, it's called Alpaca. 50 grams, 95 meters. Oh, hang on. That's interesting. This one was 120 meters. So this one is, oh, that's interesting. This one has less on it, and it does look thicker, even though they both are called 8-ply. I still don't know. In Australia, everything is by ply and not, you know, worsted, DK, sport, etc., which is very frustrating for me because I came from Canada where everything is like that. So yeah, interesting. They're both categorized as 8-ply. Anyways, this one is 100% alpaca. I bought 3 as well in this kind of beigey color, and I thought I would make for my daughter. Also, I had a mittens for our trip to Canada, and I might go back and let my other daughter decide which yarn she liked better to make her one as well. Yeah, we're going to Calgary for Christmas, and it's going to be very cold. Last time we were there, I think it was something like, with the wind chill, -47 on one of the days we were there. So really unbearable. But then also it got to, you know, -5 or something, maybe even +5. on some of the days. So Calgary's weather is just really like this, like you never know, and it can change so much on the day. But yeah, definitely, we're definitely gonna need hats and mittens to go outside. Yes, anything else about that? Oh, these were $9 a ball. So again, very reasonable. I stocked up, I bought a few in this brown color. I'll show you why in a second. She had thread that was 100% cotton. So on the last dress that I made, I used the 100% cotton thread, and maybe on the last 2 things I've made. And yeah, I was very pleased with it. So you know, I love the idea of natural fibers and fabrics. So when I'm sewing with linen, to use polyester thread is not really my favorite. Like that, if I were to, when I'm done with it, of course I would try to give it away if it was still in good enough condition, but say for whatever reason, the dress has holes everywhere and it's really not, no one would want it. It's kind of nice to know that I could just chuck it in the compost. But if it's sewn together with polyester thread, that wouldn't be so good in the compost. I mean, I guess I could unpick all the thread, but that's, that's a lot. So I found 100% cotton thread there. So I bought those up. I think these were $4.50 each, which I thought was really cool, like a really good price. And I bought this linen. So sorry, again, this is the second time I've recorded it. It was folded up nicely, but now it's, now it's not. So it's a very heavyweight linen. Unfortunately, it's not very wide. It's only about 1 meter wide. And I bought 3 meters long, so I'm hoping that's going to be enough. My husband, who was with me, was quite keen on getting some shorts made. So yeah, I'm going to try to make him some shorts. I don't have a pattern for shorts for him, but I think he has quite a few pairs of linen shorts from a local, we bought some at a market. So I think I'll try to, trace over those shorts and kind of try to copy them a little bit as best I can. And yeah, so it's yeah, if you hold it up to the light, you can barely see through it. It's very thick. And when I was looking at it up close, I don't think you'll be able to tell, but I think it's woven in herringbone. So instead of it being woven, like that, it looks to me like it's like this. So yeah, and I feel like I saw a video maybe on Instagram recently about fabric that was herringbone woven. So there you go. Now I got some in my hands. I'm just looking at the edge. I think that's called the selvage. It looks really quite neat. So even though it's not very long, I feel like if I'm sneaky, I can use that as the bottom of the shorts or something like that, so I don't have to hem it. Yeah, though there is something to be said for hemming it to give it a little bit more weight to kind of bring, to make the shorts sit a bit nicer. But anyways, I digress. So yeah, so this one doesn't smell so much of mothballs. I did hang it out when we got home outside in the sun, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to do something about that yarn. It smells very, very mothball-y. I did notice down in her fabric, she had a couple of bottles of eucalyptus kind of, on a few of the shelves to help with the moths. So yeah, I'm pleased because, I would hate to bring home some yarn that's full of moths and then pop it in with my other yarn, and then, especially after my corn cardigan I showed last week had some moths that had chewed a little bit of it. So I'm also thinking I may pop these in the freezer. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. I might pop everything in the freezer for 2 weeks, because yeah, I don't need to knit with them at the moment because I have 2 things on the go anyways, and yeah, we won't be going to Canada for a little while yet. Well, I think that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you if you've subscribed to my channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you for liking, or if you wouldn't mind giving me a like on the video, and leaving me a comment, letting me know yeah, where you're watching from, what you're making. And yeah, I just thank you so much for those of you last week. Last week I had quite a few pieces of advice that I was seeking for a few of my projects, and I got some feedback from that. So thank you so much. You definitely gave me some food for thought. And yeah, if you know how to get rid of mothball smell, I would love to hear about that in the comments. And also, oh yeah, before I forget, if anyone has advice on how to get oil stains, like a few of my linen dresses and or skirts have got some oil stains on them. So if you have any advice on how to get oil stains out of linen, or any fabric for that matter, I would really appreciate that as well. And I hope that you've gotten to make something really beautiful with your hands this week, and I really look forward to talking to you again next week. Thanks for watching. Thank you.